It happens out of nowhere. You're making coffee, walking to your car, brushing your teeth, and suddenly, there it is. The same 4 seconds of a song playing in your head, not the whole song, just that one piece, the hook, and it plays again and again. You didn't choose it. You might not even like it. You may not have heard it in years, but your brain has decided that right now, on loop, this is the soundtrack. So why does this happen? Why does your brain hijack itself with a song you never asked for? This little glitch is so common it has a real scientific name: involuntary musical imagery. And it's not rare. Surveys find that around 90% of people get a song stuck in their head at least once a week. Some people get them almost every day. It is one of the most universal experiences there is, and once you understand what's actually causing it, it stops looking like a glitch at all. It starts looking like a window into how your memory really works. So let me show you what's happening when a song gets stuck. By the end, you'll understand why it's almost always the chorus and never the whole song, why the catchiest songs are catchy by design, the strange reason an unfinished song loops harder than a finished one, and the surprisingly simple trick that can actually make it stop. Let's start with the loop itself, because the first clue is hiding in plain sight. Notice that an earworm is almost never the entire song. It's a fragment, usually somewhere between 5 and 15 seconds. And it's almost always the catchiest part, the hook, the chorus, the riff. There's a reason for that. Your brain doesn't store a song as one long recording. It stores it in chunks. And the chunk that gets encoded the strongest is the part you've heard the most, the part that repeats inside the song itself. So the chorus isn't just the most memorable part to you, it's the most rehearsed piece of memory in your head. When something triggers the song, that's the chunk that fires. And to play it, your brain uses a system you rely on constantly without noticing. It's a part of your working memory, sometimes called the phonological loop. Think of it as a tiny mental tape deck, the same thing you use to hold a phone number in your head by repeating it. Its job is to keep sound alive in your mind for a few seconds by quietly rehearsing it on a loop. Music is practically built to hijack this system. A catchy hook is short, repetitive, and rhythmic, which is exactly what the loop is designed to hold. So the song doesn't just enter your mind, it climbs into the one mental machine whose entire purpose is to repeat things. So that's how it plays. But why these songs? Why does one tune burrow in while 1,000 others don't? It turns out the catchiest songs share a fingerprint. Researchers compared songs that people reported getting stuck against songs that didn't, and the earworm songs tended to have two things in common. First, they were faster, more upbeat, the kind of melody that's easy to sing along to. And the second, and this is the interesting part, they had a melodic shape that was mostly familiar and easy to follow, but with one unexpected twist, an unusual leap, a note that jumps where you don't expect it. So the song is simple enough to grab instantly, but it has a little hook of surprise that makes it stand out from everything around it. That combination, easy plus unexpected, is the recipe. Songwriters who are great at this are, whether they know it or not, engineering earworms. But none of that explains the most maddening part. Why does it repeat? Why doesn't it just play once and finish? And here's the strangest clue of all. The loop is often driven by the song being incomplete. There's a well-known quirk of the mind called the Zeigarnik effect. It's the discovery that your brain hates an unfinished task. Once something is started but not completed, your mind keeps it active, keeps nagging you about it until it's resolved. It's why an interrupted to-do list sits in your head all day, while the things you actually finished vanish. Now apply that to a song. If you only ever hear a fragment, the hook on the radio, a few seconds of an ad, the chorus someone hummed, your brain treats it like an open loop, an unfinished task. So it does what it does with any unfinished task. It keeps it active and keeps replaying it, trying to push it to a resolution that never comes. The song loops precisely because it didn't get to end. So now we know the ingredients. A song chunked into a catchy fragment sitting in the one part of memory built to repeat sound, often left unfinished so your brain won't let it go. But there's one last question. Why now? Why does it pop up while you're doing the dishes and not during an important meeting? Earworms tend to surface in very specific conditions. The big trigger is recent or repeated exposure. You heard the song lately, or many times in your life. The second is association. You see a word, a place, a person, anything linked to the song, and it cues the memory. But the third condition is the telling one. Earworms love an empty mind. They show up most when your brain isn't busy, when you're doing something automatic, and your attention is free to wander. Showering, walking, chores. In that low focus state, your mind drifts, and a strongly stored memory, like a chorus, can float up and start playing on its own. The earworm isn't attacking you, it's filling a vacuum, which finally tells us how to get rid of one. If the loop lives in that little mental tape deck, the phonological loop, then the trick is to give that system something else to do. And researchers found a wonderfully silly version of this that actually works. Chewing gum. The act of chewing engages the same subvocal machinery you use to rehearse sound, essentially jamming the signal, and people who chewed gum had fewer of those involuntary replays. If gum isn't your thing, the other proven moves follow the same logic. Listen to the whole song all the way through so your brain finally gets the ending it was looking for and can close the loop. Or engage in a task that's demanding but not overwhelming. A puzzle, a conversation, a good book, something that occupies your working memory so the song has no room to play. So the next time a stray 4 seconds of a song starts looping in your head for no reason, you'll know it isn't random, and it isn't a malfunction. It's a perfectly catchy fragment, lodged in the part of your mind built to repeat sound, left unfinished so your brain won't let it rest, surfacing in a quiet moment when your attention wandered. It's not your brain breaking. It's your brain doing exactly what it was designed to do, holding on to a pattern and refusing to let it go.